Una Crown, aged 86, was found dead in her bungalow on Magazine Road, Wishbeck, Cambridgeshire, on the 13th of January 2013. She was a retired postmistress who lived alone as she had lost her husband John 4 years earlier. Una's charred remains were found by her niece and her husband in the hallway surrounded by burnt newspapers and in a pool of blood. Police, paramedics and firefighters were called and determined she had had her throat cut and had been set on fire. Initially, the police regarded the scene as an accident. The first attending officer said, "There was nothing overwhelmingly suspicious. The only problem was the blood, and there was no obvious place where she had hit her head." When Una's body was turned over, 2 slits to her throat were found beneath a tightly knotted scarf. The police had thought she had set herself on fire, panicked, suffered a heart attack, and as she had fallen, caught her scarf causing the skin around her neck to tear. Unfortunately, this means that initially no evidence was taken. Any possible evidence inside the house was potentially contaminated or destroyed from people moving in and out of the house, touching and moving objects. Paramedics had touched the body, smeared blood on a light switch, and searched through the drawers. The floors had been cleaned by the family as so many people were moving about the house, which caused even more evidence to be lost. An officer admitted he had touched a key with blood on his hand and then washed it off under a tap. It wasn't until a coroner had seen the body a few days later that he said it was undeniably murder. The family were told not to go back into the house. It was now a crime scene. Better late than never, I guess. The post-mortem determined Una had been stabbed in the chest and neck and set on fire as a means to hide the evidence. Una was last seen on the 11th of January 2013 and had spoken to her friend at 5 PM on the day before her body was found. It seems she was attacked sometime between Saturday night and Sunday morning. Una's family complained about how the case was being handled by police, saying the police had failed accurately to assess the sudden death of Una and had failed to take the necessary steps to preserve the crime scene. They concluded, "As a result, evidence that could have helped the investigation has been lost." The family's complaints were upheld and the police stated the officers in question had breached the standards of professional behaviour, but it was decided that they shouldn't face formal sanctions. The officer in charge of the investigation stated, "Both officers greatly regret the distress caused to Mr. and Mrs. Payne by their flawed decision-making." In 2014, a new team of 50 officers from across 3 counties, Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire, were put in place to find out what happened to Una and to catch who did it. Despite a number of arrests, no one has been charged with her murder. A new plea was released in January 2019. A police spokesman said it has been 6 years since this terrible crime had happened, and we still believe the answer to solving it lies within the local community. We are asking people to really think about what they were doing in the days before and after Mrs. Crown's death. Did you see anything suspicious? Did someone you know come home smelling of smoke, acting strangely, or had clothing that was burnt or had blood on it? Someone out there knows what happened on Magazine Lane that weekend. Any information, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem to you, may hold the key to solving this tragic case. So anyone with information should contact us. We are determined to get justice for Mrs. Crown and her family. They concluded, "We continue to look at new forensic techniques and any intelligence which comes to light. The case still remains an open and live investigation within the Bedfordshire, Cambridgeshire and Hertfordshire Major Crime Unit." As of January 2019, a £10,000 reward from the independent charity Crime Stoppers is still on offer for the information which leads to the arrest and successful conviction of Mrs. Crown's killer. If anyone watching this video has any information regarding this case, please use the numbers on the screen now. You can also find them in the description below. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you feel the channel is interesting to you. Much love everyone and keep safe out there. The world is a beautiful place, but also a dangerous place. Stay safe.